What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Last night's Raw isn't a season premiere, but there's plenty to look forward to, including a US Championship defense by newly crowned champion Seth Rollins, the OC's first tag match since returning to WWE, and an appearance by Brock Lesnar. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of the Red Brand, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including WWE wants to destroy AEW, Alexa Bliss teases a return to the dark side, Chris Jericho is in AEW until 2025, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out Wrestlelamia.co.uk and our non-wrestling channel, Incredible. Now, as always, we won't recap the matches, but just provide you with the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, Bobby destroys Brock. Raw started off strong with one hell of a brawl as Brock Lesnar answered Bobby Lashley's challenge. Unfortunately for Lesnar, his efforts to lay out Lashley like he did last week failed miserably, as the Almighty showed what separates him from Brock's past opponents. Lashley took a few hits until he saw an opening, spearing Lesnar through a security barrier. Sure, the spear through the security barrier spot has been done ad nauseum, but this was just the beginning as Lashley fought off a small army of wrestlers, WWE officials, and security to spear Lesnar into the announcer's table, then hit a spinebuster that put the beast right through the table. Lesnar sold the assault like he's been hit by a freight train. Judging from Lashley's attack, there wasn't much difference. Lashley's assault was a fantastic way to start the show and to demonstrate he's unlike any opponent Brock has ever faced. If this didn't get the fans amped up for their crown jewel matchup, nothing will. Number 2, Finn Balor is getting good on the mic. Finn Balor did a fantastic job with his promo on the OC last night, mocking the group for their too sweet catchphrase and reminding AJ that he started the club, i.e. the Bullet Club, and he would destroy it. Balor is magic in the ring, and while he's not quite magic on the mic, he's still a formidable force that makes the Judgment Day's promos better than most. Number 3, good use of teases. The WWE continues to provide fans with reasons to stay tuned into Raw, a smart move if you're familiar with Raw's past problems of maintaining its first hour audience throughout the show. Last night, the WWE provided incentives including JBL's appearance, the Dominic vs AJ Styles match, The Miz vs Dexter Lumis, and more. Whether or not these paid off remains to be seen, but it's better than expecting the fans to stick around based on faith in the Red Brand, particularly when there are so many other viewing options. Number 4, Corbin to Raw was well played. Regardless of whether you think Corbin needs JBL, the WWE managed things well, noting Rey Mysterio's Raw exit opened the door for SmackDown's Corbin to enter Raw. And while we're on the subject of JBL and Corbin, it looks like the WWE is serious about pushing Corbin as more than a utility player. There's obviously nothing wrong with being a utility player such as Chad Gable, but Corbin has the size, ability to garner heat, and in-ring ability to do much more. He's always been good on promos, but we believe pairing him with JBL adds even more to his character. As we've noted before, Corbin has the tools to succeed, but he's always been held back by the lack of a solid push. Hopefully this pairing with JBL means the WWE is finally serious about pushing him. Number 5, Ali getting a push. Speaking of pushes, it looks as if Mustafa Ali is finally getting a push in the form of a rivalry with current US champion Seth Rollins. Ali asked Rollins for a US championship opportunity only for the Visionary to sucker punch him and beat him down. Ali wasn't finished, however, as he saved Matt Riddle from the main event when Seth Rollins tried to curb stomp the Ultimate Bro onto the US title belt. Ali attacked Rollins and promised Monday Night Rollins that he was going to become a problem for him. Let's hope that this is more than a filler program to give Rollins an opponent for Crown Jewel, as the fans are still behind Mustafa Ali despite the WWE dropping the ball with his multiple pushes. But that was the good. What about the bad? Is number 1, too many Raw stars on NXT. Is the WWE getting carried away with the number of main roster stars appearing on NXT? Well, it certainly seems that way, as NXT features 2 pick-your-poison matches with Raw and SmackDown superstars Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez facing Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. It also has the OC teaming with Cameron Grimes, not to mention other main roster transfers like Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. They need to be careful with using main roster stars so much that they overshadow the Black and Gold brand superstars. As we'll see in the news, there's reason why NXT is packed with main roster stars, but it could still be a problem. Number 2, Miz storyline continues to crumble. What can be said about the Miz Dexter Lumis story that hasn't been already said? Quite a lot actually, as the WWE managed to drag the storyline out for another week by having the Miz attack Lumis before their match, postponing things for at least another week. As bad as that is, the WWE is putting Johnny Gargano into the mix now. Number 3, Gargano is everywhere. Now, whilst we're on the subject of Johnny wrestling, Gargano seemed to be everywhere last night on Raw. Gargano was one of several wrestlers who tried to pull Bobby Lashley off Brock Lesnar. As fans snocked on social media, it looked totally out of place in trying to break up the brawl between two WWE's most massive muscle men, and he appeared 2 more times in the segments, and for some fans, that's 2 times too many. He is an acquired taste for some fans, and while Triple H feels he has plenty to offer, the fans are unlikely to respond favourably if the game shoves them down their throats. Number 4, Damage Control needs new opponents. Is the WWE running out of opponents for Damage Control? Like Johnny Gargano, it's obvious the WWE is big on the Damage Control faction as they appear regularly on both Raw and SmackDown. The problem is that they've been facing their same opponents, which has to have fans wondering if the WWE doesn't see any credible opponents for the group. They may want to step back on its use of factions or risk fans growing bored with them. And Elias is awful. Elias's return was a complete failure and a reminder of how the WWE's fixation on Elias's musical performances eclipse his wrestling abilities and charisma. Last night's segment was drawn out and made even worse when Riddle showed up to lend his bongos to Elias's musical set. Elias's scrap with Seth Rollins during Rollins' US title defense against Riddle seemed out of place, and they did no favors to Elias by having Seth Rollins beat both him and Riddle down after the match, removing all doubt from the fans' minds as to the Drifter's place on the WWE food chain. Now, there was nothing downright ugly as Raw had some strong segments to balance out the trash like The Miz and Dexter Lumis lunacy, Elias's wretched return, and the WWE's overexposure of certain stars. But what did you guys think of Raw last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Our first story looks at WWE looking to destroy Dynamite. Atop of today's news is a report concerning the 18th October head-to-head battle between NXT and Dynamite, a one-night renewal of the competition that raged during the Wednesday Night War when the WWE placed NXT up against Dynamite. While Dynamite crushed NXT in the battle, the WWE gets another chance of beating AEW's flagship show as a scheduling conflict forced Dynamite from its normal spot. And that explains why the WWE has added so many main roster stars to tonight's NXT, with the latest addition being Kevin Owens. The Wrestling Observer Figure 4 Online's Brian Alvarez tweeted, "Huge promotional push for the show, they're determined to beat AEW." Well, who do you think will win tonight's ratings battle? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, WWE adds matches to Crown Jewel. The WWE has officially added more matches to its 5th November Crown Jewel show. Now Bobby Lashley faces Brock Lesnar in a rematch from this year's Royal Rumble, while the Judgment Day takes on the OC. In addition, Roman Reigns defends the Undisputed Championship against Logan Paul. What do you guys think of the card so far though? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, 2 big roster call-ups coming, and it looks like the WWE Universe could see 2 huge main roster call-ups soon. During an appearance on Corey Graves After the Bell show, Shawn Michaels answered a question about whether Bron Breakker or Nikita Lyons are headed to the main roster. There certainly is that opportunity. There's going to continue to be. Look, I text Hunter every day anyway, so we talk on a regular basis anyway. I might as well throw in, how about some NXT people appear on the main roster? How about some of your people come down here? I say that jokingly, but as you know, there are all things that we wanted to do before. These are all things that we wanted to do before, but it wasn't our decision. It's something that we've always talked about. Next up, Alexa Bliss teases a Frightful reunion. Is Alexa Bliss ready to embrace the Fiend again? Well, Bliss recently posted a macabre picture on Instagram with the caption, "Welcome to my nightmare, I think you're gonna like it here," with a black heart. Fans begin asking whether Dark Alexa is returning to the WWE, but so far that question remains unanswered. What do you guys think is next for Bliss though? And finally, Chris Jericho signs until 2025. Legendary wrestler Chris Jericho has signed a new AEW deal. This will keep him under contract until 2025. In an official statement, AEW stated, "Chris Jericho long ago cemented his legacy as one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time, and we're fortunate to have his skills, charisma, knowledge, and insights in AEW for years to come." Chris has discovered a fountain of youth this year, and he's having some of the very best matches of his legendary career against some of the top names in wrestling. In expanding his responsibilities, he'll continue to serve as a valuable leader without our roster having the opportunity to utilize one of the most creative minds in the history of wrestling. And Jericho will also be working as a mentor and producer for AEW as well as continuing to wrestle. There were rumors that Jericho may potentially return to WWE, but evidently this isn't going to happen, at least until 2025. What do you guys think of the news? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.